Hello Tildies! As promised, my lmao project is complete, a little bit behind schedule, but nevertheless, this is Pigs, a custom RPN calculator that I built from scratch, and yes, I am aware that that is deeply unhinged behavior. The name comes from the TI-84's Drug Wars game. It's a resource management simulator, and when police busted your operation of selling drugs, the screen would flash, "Pigs made a big coke bust. Prices are outrageous." And indeed, prices are outrageous, because high-quality calculators are very expensive, and none of them do exactly what I want. But why then build this? Well, I love calculators as objects. I pay money for the pCalc app on my iPhone, which should sort of tell you everything about me caring a little bit too much about customization. But I'm also deeply tired of device consolidation. I don't want the calculator to be on my phone. I carry a lot of things around. A vaguely Star Wars themed object that I stole at IKEA. A label printer that fits in your pocket, a multimeter, everything you sort of need, a camera, and, of course, an iPod. I don't like device consolidation, so of course, I also carry around a calculator. Now this calculator right here is a Casio ClassPad CP200. It's a scientific calculator, but it does everything, which should be a good thing, but not for me. I'm a graphic designer. I don't need 80% of these functions, and it's still just a classic calculator. It doesn't use the way I like to think about numbers, which is RPN, and it's a lot of features that I don't need. Now, commercial options, well, the HP12C exists, classic calculator, but it is very financially focused. Swiss Micros makes very good calculators, but they are very expensive, and they advertise things like extreme precision, which, thanks, but, we're not launching missiles here. Cheap calculators work, but, they feel terrible, and they bring no joy whatsoever, and none use RPN the way that I want. So I built my own, as one does. The requirements are RPN input, it needs to feel substantial and nice, needs to be rechargeable, and it needs to have my features. Now, this is the results of my efforts. It has a 7-inch display, is a USB-C rechargeable, and has a pre-programmed USB numpad. The wooden PLA case has some panel gaps, don't look too close, and if you ever visit my house, please do not take the lid off of this thing because there is horrible cable management underneath. It does have a satisfying bit of heft though. Inside there is a Raspberry Pi running a Next.js web app in Chrome, and I know, running a full operating system just to run a browser, just to run a calculator is absolutely mental. I originally planned to use an ESP32 dev board, but I can't program embedded systems in C or Arduino. I am an idiot. I tried, I cried, so now it's a battery and a Raspberry Pi stuck together. If anyone wants to convert my app to run the ESP, you're very welcome to, but I'm not touching this again. Now, what is RPN? Notice there is no equals button on this calculator. There is a push button and a swap button, which sounds brilliant, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's pretty simple. You type 1, 2, 3 and the number gets entered. Press push to move it up the stack. Type 200 and then press an operation. Press what you want to do, say plus, and they add immediately. Look at that, beautiful. No parentheses needed for complicated operations. Now want to add multiple numbers? You can do that. 189, push, 259, push, 5, push, 110. Now add them sequentially. You can just do that. Need to add 50, push, 50 plus. Need to subtract 60, push, 60 minus. It's incredibly simple. It's, in my opinion, the correct way to think about numbers, especially with long-running tallies. You enter your numbers and then you operate on them. It's revolutionary stuff, I know, but this also means that you can disregard orders of operations and parentheses. Everything happens like you want. Now, controls. To swap a register with the X register, you simply press the swap key. This swaps them atomically. This is essential because division and subtraction aren't commutative, and trust me, you will absolutely cock this up without using the swap button. Holding push pops the last value, which removes it. Holding swap activates roll, which lets you roll around the values in the stack. I don't really use it, but I like having it here. The top buttons access special features. Tape shows you the calculation history. Undo, redo do exactly what you expect them to do, and lift and drop are cut and paste. They're just called that because I like teenage engineering, and they call theirs lift and drop. You can drop as many times as you like, it's just cut and paste. And the menu is where it gets properly fun and where my custom features reside. There are options here. We have conversion mode, lets you pick a category, then a unit, and then what you want to convert to. For instance, feet to meters. You type in 20 meters, you type in 20 feet, sorry, you get 6 meters. But if you want to swap it around, just press swap, type in what you want, and there you go, it works the other direction too. The next menu is paper sizes. I'm a designer and sometimes I need paper dimensions fast. You can spin the dial to go from A to B to C to RA to supplementary RA to US Classic, US ANSI, US Architectural, Japanese Jizz, don't say it like that, Japanese and Chinese standard sizes, Swedish CIS standards, and French as well as British traditional paper sizes. The aspect ratio calculator is very simple. You select the aspect ratio, there's a bunch of pre-published, you type in your width, and you get your height. It's very simple. Press push to push it to the stack and do something with it. The percentage calculator is actually really clever, and I can't believe that I haven't seen this done in this way before. You set your percentage and then you type in your value. You can type in 50 and then you spin the dial to adjust the percentage. But this also means that you can go to a different base percentage. Let's say I turn it to 70, I type in 56, and now I can go up to 100%. It will modify both values accordingly. It's very, very simple. It maintains the relationship like these two values would no matter where you go, and you can type in any value at any percentage. I can't believe that nobody has done this before, to my knowledge. Somebody build an iPhone app of this. I will pay you 99 cents a month because that's how the App Store works now. The constants library has constants. Sometimes you need pi. What do you want from me? The deeper math menu has deeper math operations. Reciprocals, trigonometry, combinatorics. I won't use these, but if I ever need to, they're there, which is nicer than having to get out my phone for something. You again turn the dial and you press the button to execute the operation on the X register. The clock is a clock. Oh, joyous days. This is called Little Bitch mode. For people who don't understand RPN, they can use this. You type in your numbers, you type in your operation, you type in your other numbers, you press enter, it calculates. It's not very complicated, and because I can only imagine you're an idiot who doesn't understand this, it is also restricted to the basic 4 functions. If you press anything others, well, don't worry about it. And this is the project. If you have similar brainworms to me and you really want one of these, the code and build instructions are on my GitHub at 1612e/pigs. It is just npm run dev. It is a bog standard Next.js app, but it does use a custom keypad which has some pretty esoteric mappings, but those are in the README, so do with this what you will. I can't recommend you build this, but if you do, please do send me an email because evidently misery loves company. Thank you for your patience with the delay after Tommaso ended. Apologies for wasting your time because I simply wasted mine as well, so I thought we would suffer together.